Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Nigeria Now, your program that keeps you up to date with happenings in the country. And you know the way we do it on the program, where we look at politics, economics, we look at business, education, security, and other aspects that we feel is important that we bring to the table and iron it out. And you know you can be part of the program by joining us by Facebook and YouTube, dropping your comment and your views regarding any of the matters we will be discussing this afternoon. I am Stella Elisha Dasham, and I will be doing this program alongside Rachel Tansy. Good afternoon, Rachel.
Afternoon, Stella.
All right, we have quite a number on our plate, but then just before we go to the matter we'd love to discuss, we would like you to know that presently the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, have sued the Kaduna State House of Assembly. We will recall that he was actually being probed for an amount over 432 billion naira, which they said during his tenure, and talking about manhandling of funds, embezzlement, and all of that. And right now, he's suing the Kaduna State House of Assembly. So as more details unfold, we will bring that up to you so you can get involved. Now, to the matter we love to discuss. I mean, we woke up to the fact that yesterday, during the FEC meeting, we're saying that the issue of the minimum wage was being dropped down by the members of the FEC, which they said that the president will be consulting widely with governors, local government, private sectors, as well as other members to see what will be the appropriate amount for the minimum wage. And I remember we started the conversation in the morning, Rachel, and you brought out something very important, the fact that these people that the president wants to actually consult are the same people that made up the committee that was being set up initially to look into how much will be the appropriate amount for the minimum wage. And then we're saying that the FEC actually dropped it and said, no, that is the matter of, you know, the minimum wage for governors and everybody to look into. So as it is presently, we're seeing back and forth. Possibly now we're seeing Labour is saying that, you know what, we're giving to the end of July. We're seeing trade union is saying from the way things are looking, maybe the new minimum wage will be taken off in August. And a number of things. And I remember where you said that from the look of things, and I said we share the same thought, was the fact that from the look of things, Rachel, new minimum wage might be starting 2025, because I don't understand why the government is pushing this thing. Ideally, it was supposed to be April. And then we saw that it was supposed to be, Labour was hoping that during the Workers' Day, they will be celebrating with that. And then Workers' Day came and passed, nothing. And I was hoping that just last week that we rounded up the Civil Servants Week. Maybe that would be another time for the president to say, you know what, looking at how much the civil servants are putting, this should be an appropriate time for us to drop the new minimum wage. And nothing. And then, whole and behold, it's another breaking news, the fact that, you know what, I have to consult so that I'll be able to know what is the right amount. And I wonder right now with the consultation, what will it be? Already governors are complaining. We've known of a number of governors that have said they might not be able to pay beyond the 62,000 naira that was being proposed by the operative private operative sector as well as the committee. So right now I'm wondering, in this consultation, what will be the amount? We still have states till date that are yet to even start paying the 30,000 minimum wage, Rachel. So with this consultation, what will be different from the 62,000? Are we going backward? Or I really just can't understand. And I hope that the federal government can actually help us make sense out of the reason why the federal government, is it the president or the federal government, regardless, have to consult regarding this issue?
So let's forget big English. All this consultation that the government is using, the federal government is using, as far as I'm concerned, it means no more tripartite committee. That's what it means. Because the further consultation is state governors and then OPS. LGAs is, by the way, we know that the key stakeholders in this decision have been the state governors, OPS, and then Labour. So now moving forward for this consultation, the government, federal government, is saying they need to consult more with the state governors and then the OPS. But then since they joined the LGAs, let's put it inside and then now out Labour. So automatically it means that Labour have been sidelined, Labour has been taken out. And the reason is because the government is insisting that Labour remains on the high side of 250,000. Now, the private sectors have made it clear that 62,000 is where they stop. But with all the whining, Sele, governors have not come out to say what they can give. It's only to say 250 is too much, but no governor. We've had Obaseki saying he will start giving 80,000. We've had states who said they will comply. Those are states with a very good GDP, I must put it that way, and revenue generation is really good in those states. These are barely 5 states in this country that can say, okay, you know what, no matter what the minimum wage is, we will be able to come through. But so far, governors collectively have not come out to say, this is what we are going to pay. And this is what Labour find as a bone of contention, because here we are telling you our figures. Of organized private sector has given their figure. Why is governors not saying anything about it? Because there need to be a point and an agreement. Then the federal government, the president, takes the final decision and say, this is the point where we meet, and moving on, this is the minimum wage. Is the government telling us that this committee was just a complete waste of time? Now, whether they like it or not, it's only Labour that will speak for the masses. And this is where they stand. They are the ones who will come out and say, by virtue of what is going on, the economic circumstances for every citizen, this is what should be due as payment for a civil servant in the country. And they have the right to stay where they want to. Now, governors, if you say 250,000 is too high for you, why are you not coming out to say what is okay for you? I keep saying it. That's the whole point of the committee. When Labour makes mention of theirs, when OPS says theirs, then governors, you say yours, and then they find a breaking point, a point where it's okay for everybody, and then the federal government can work with that, and then we move on. As far as I'm concerned, state governors are the people holding us back regarding minimum wage at the moment, because OPS have said what they can and they've stood their ground. At least Labour have something to work with from the organization of private sector. But what will they work with regarding state governors? Nothing so far. So the delay, I believe, is from the state governors, and it is not fair. It is not right for state government to hold their civilians to ransom in such a way. Fine. OPS have said theirs is very low. Come out with your own, regardless of whether it is low or high or not, whether Labour accepts it or not. Then there will be a meeting point. So it's just 2 things to take out of here. That this consultation is just big English. It means that Labour have been sidelined out of the further consultation, and then the tripartite committee was just a waste of time, because if after all the back and forth, state governors didn't come up with what is okay for them, and there was not a decision made by this committee forwarded to the federal government, then it has just been an absolute waste of time. And imagine something that started since January, and we are in the few days to the second quarter gone, nothing yet decided. We still have a long way to go, and that's the sad part. The question is, have these wage awards been given? And even if they have people been getting palliatives, have people been getting other things to ease hardship? All of these things, nothing so far has been done significantly by the government.
You know, Rachel, while you were talking and you said forget to speak English, I just can't help but relate myself in Nigerians with the fact that, you know what, this is a way for the federal government to buy more time.
Yeah.
Because already we're saying that the president is supposed to go defend the supplementary budget. So please help me make sense. What budget is he submitting if the minimum wage is not part of it, Rachel? So as far as I'm concerned, there is already an amount that has been set by the federal government, regardless of what it is.
Yes.
So if not, if already there's going to be a supplementary budget, are we looking for another supplementary budget again after the consultation? So I mean, sometimes we just can't help but wonder what really is the problem. I mean, and whether governors come out to state what it is or not. I mean, formerly when we had the minimum wage, was the opinion of the governors being asked before whether you can pay it or not. The federal government stated an amount, and because you already know the GDP of every state and you know the capacity or whether they can meet up or not. So why are you not consulting with them regarding that? There are certain things that are executive orders, and I'm expecting that this should be one of it. So why do you need to consult even the local government area? We still have local government that are complaining they can't even pay the 30,000 naira. They're still on 18,000 naira.
So if you were to consult local government, they will tell you, well, we can pay 20,000 now.
Let's just increase it a little. So
Yes.
just like I'm saying, I just feel this is just a way to buy more time, and we keep prolonging this whole issue back forward as it is presently, whether we like it or not. As is part of this whole thing, because they're also servants of the public. So whether we like it or not, 2 weeks they're already given to the government concerning their 2009 agreement. You accept it, or we are going on a strike in the next 2 weeks. So that is to say that everywhere will be shut down. A matter of time, we hear everybody saying, you know what, if you can't pay us, we're staying back at home. So I'm just hoping that, you know what, well, let's just give the government the benefit of that. Since this is coming from the Minister of Information, and he's saying we should just hold on. So we'll hold on and let us see how long this consultation is going to take. And then we hope that it will be beneficial to Nigerians eventually, that maybe after the consultation we'll be hearing maybe an amount like 150, 200, who knows?
Hope so.
But we'll just keep hoping that something positive will come out of it. Now, we will record that already since the issue of the opening of the portal for the student loan. I mean, we've seen that a number of federal universities have already been enrolled, but the issue right now is that a number of state university colleges and polytechnics have not all been captured. And because of that, there have been a postponement for the next 14 days. And this is to give all of these state universities, polytechnics, ample time to be able to, you know, upload the biodata and everything concerning their students. And I'm wondering why. Because if you ask me, I think the state university, even though we know they were not included initially, but since we were given the room, I mean, I was hoping that our students rushing to submit that, and as well school. We know the way sometimes we have our non-academic staff being very adamant when it comes to issues like this. It can be very reluctant. You hear that various files are missing and all of that. But we are just going to keep our fingers crossed concerning this. And then since they said in the next 14 days, we're just hoping. But I just hope this won't be the way it was before we started the issue of the portal and all of that. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see how far the next 14 days. I hope it will be enough time, though, for the state universities and the rest, because from the figures I'm having here, they said that out of the 20 state universities, okay, out of 48, only 20 state universities have submitted, and then out of 54 colleges, only 12, and then out of 49 state polytechnics, only 2, Rachel. So you can see that all of these state institutions have a long way to go, and I'm hoping that these 2 weeks will be enough for them to figure out whatever they need to do, upload all the information, and then so that when the portal is open, students can have access to it, because an academic session will be starting very soon, so they should not be left out while the federal universities are benefiting from it.
These are the kinds of things that when they happen, we know that we are not digital enough, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just a matter of data transfer from one system to another. If a school have been well documented digitally, it should just be now the state universities transferring their data from their portal to that of the student loan scheme fund and all of that. But then you see this backwardness, and you know that we have a lot of way to go when it comes to digitalization, and then when it comes to us being able to like have certain data available for use with ease. Now the question is, have you been sleeping and not doing the needful? Because I know when where I was in school, we made payments online. This is quite back a while now compared to where. And then do we have newer schools that are accepting this and still being analog and all of that? Then it shows that we do not have work to do. At the same time, Sele, on the other side, I believe that the student loan scheme office could also be buying time. If you have 20, start approving for that 20. 20 is a good enough number. It's simple. A circular should go out and say, you know what, for the schools that have updated their information, students should have access to it. Start working with that. Either way, then it's then the fault of the university that their own students are missing out of it, but not to generalize it, because it doesn't make sense. So on the other side, yes, the lack of information from other schools could say, okay, you know what, this is a problem. However, if you have other schools that have been able to update their information, you should work with them so that they won't be completely left out of it. They might use this as the major, which is valid on a lot of level, but when you look at it from two sides, you can say, you know what, go on with the students or the schools, the universities, be it colleges that have already uploaded their information, and work with them and give. And then those that will join, they might miss this school session, but we'll be able to join for the following year and then subsequent semesters and all of that. So I just hope, but when you look at it, we've had since last year talking about this student loan scheme. Why did you sleep on your job? Everything always points a finger back to the fact that we do not actively do the things that is needed. You know, data will be processed from you, information on your students, and also your fee information and all of that. So why haven't you started setting these things out? Implementation on every level is a problem, because if only these schools were prepared at hand, it's not an excuse, but I'm just looking at the gaps, the problems, and everything left, right, center that could be a factor that is affecting this for state and universities at the moment. What were the guidelines given to these schools on what to prepare before it comes back online and before it's being put or implemented, so that everybody will not be left behind? Let's wake up and do the needful when it comes to certain things.
You know, when you say just wake up, and I just wish maybe we'll get a bucket of water to start pouring on all our non-academic stuff.
Yes.
Because I'm saying the non-academic because they are the ones in charge of biodata and everything.
Yes.
And I think in this part of the country, no matter how digitalized we want to talk, Rachel, we prefer the analog alongside.
We do.
Because
We
when
love
you
our
go, for
papers.
example, seeking for your transcript, yes, it's being typed, it's there, but they're still looking for your file manually where it is. And at the moment one thing or the other is missing, they cannot process other things. So you
Yes.
see the way things are. No matter how I try and say, every information should be so that in case of anything, fire outbreak or anything, we have the backup and all of that. But we're still backward. I don't know what's our problem. Maybe we just prefer to go through the stress of paper and pen and all the time. But then let's just hope that that is not the reason.
Yeah.
But we hope, just like we said, this is the way they have bought time. 2 weeks. Please do all you need to do. Students that are yet to apply, I think this is another time. I think you still have time to actually, you know, submit your application just in case you were denied before. So we hope that the right thing will be done regarding that. Well, I think that's how far we can go with this afternoon. Thank you, Rachel, for doing this.
You're welcome, Sally.
And thank you as well to our viewers at home for, you know, keeping up the date with us on Nigeria Now. We look forward again to doing this program tomorrow. Please do have a great day ahead.